allegiance to our flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Are we on over there? Thank you. Board of Adjustments is a 9-member board. We're appointed by the City Council and we serve on a voluntary basis without compensation. Our procedure for conducting business is I will call the name of the petitioner. If you will, please come to the mic, speak clearly and loudly in the mic, and then make your presentation, and then be prepared to answer any questions that any member of the board might have. Once we receive public testimony and discussion on a particular item, the members of the board will deliberate. We will render our decision. I'll remind members of the board, if you have a personal or a financial interest in any particular item, you're required to recuse yourself from voting. Any testimony that's submitted by the petitioner or on behalf of the petitioner during the presentation of the agenda item will be binding as to any decision the board makes relative to the motion. I'll remind the members of the board, if a motion to deny on an item is made, you must give a reason. This time I'll introduce the members of the board that are here. Ms. K.T. Brown, our Vice Chairman, Mr. Steve Hughes, Mr. Pickett Reese, Mr. George Howell, and our newest member, Mr. Corey Johnson. And I'm John Stanley, your Chairman. Are there any questions? We have 6 members here tonight. It requires 5 votes, not majority, but 5 votes to approve a motion. If you feel as though having only 6 members here tonight might hurt your chances of an approval of your petition, you may withdraw and come back next month. We may have a couple more members show, but at this time we have enough quorum to commence the meeting. So if you feel like you need to withdraw because of that, you can do so without penalty, but you'll have to come back next month. Any questions? Okay, we have 8 items on the agenda. We're going to take one out of order because he has to be at another meeting. So we're going to start with item number 8. And let's see, let me get to that. Item number 8 is presented by J.M. Garrett & Son, representing Rolling Hills Lakes VFD Station number 3, requesting a special exception for volunteer fire station to be located at 5214 Patterson Road in an Ag 1 zoning district.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman. My name is Richard Bollinger. I'm with J.M. Garrett & Son Engineers and Surveyors here in Montgomery. We're here representing the Rolling Hills Lakes Voluntary Fire Department so that they can put in their 3rd station. This station would be just south of McInnes Road on Patterson Road. No one will stay there. It'll only have just the engines itself and one small bathroom.
Okay. Board members, as noted, this is in an residential agricultural district, and Mr. Bollinger is here on their behalf asking for a special exception for volunteer fire station. Any questions, board members? Anyone in the audience care to address this item? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
Entertain a motion. I move that we grant the variance.
Have a motion to approve. To have a second.
Second.
Second from Mr. Howell. The motion came from Ms. Brown, Deanna, Adina, and George Howell. Seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor of the motion, please raise your hand. It's unanimous.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Okay, now we're back to item number 1. It's presented by Reverend Lily S. Miller, pastor, representing Refuge TempleAME Zion Church, requesting a special exception for a church to be located at 5754 Carmichael Parkway in a B3 zoning district. Hello, Pastor.
Good afternoon.
Hello.
Good afternoon to all that's on the board. As stated, my name is Reverend Lily Miller, and I am here to ask to have permission to use the property of 5754 Carmichael Parkway in Montgomery, Alabama, facility as for a church.
Okay. And our agenda here says that your worship time on Sundays are from 9:30 to 12:30,
Yes,
and Wednesday nights 7 to 8.
yes, sir.
Okay. Do you have or plan to have any outside activities?
If we do, it would be in the back.
In
on
the back.
property of the back, yes.
Okay. Which might be what? We just want to make sure that any outside activities do not disturb your adjacent property owners.
Okay, we will make sure they do not disturb. If we have, it would be on the weekend, on a Saturday.
Okay, in the back of the property?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have adequate parking on site?
Yes,
Okay. I'm familiar with the building. It was originally built as an office building, okay? And so just remember, your parking has to be on site.
yes, sir.
So if you have an event that requires off-site parking, you're not allowed to park in the street,
Yes,
okay? But you could make other arrangements with adjacent property owners that might allow you to park in their parking lot. But I'm just cautioning you about parking in the street,
yes, sir.
because you're not supposed to do that, you know, okay?
Yes, sir.
Have you got plenty of lighting around the building at night?
Yes, we run the lights around on the front of the church building, and we're in the process of getting a utility light that's not working right now. We're in the process of getting that fixed.
Okay,
For some reason, after the weather, it fell over, so we have to get that seen about.
okay. I'm looking at an aerial photograph of your building here, and I don't see any striped parking spaces, so that could help your parking if your parking spaces are not striped.
It is striped.
Good,
Yes, sir.
good. Okay. Any questions, board members? Anyone in the audience care to address this item? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
I move that we grant the variance.
Have a motion from Ms. Brown to approve the request for the variance. Do I have a second? Second. Second from Mr. Steve Hughes. Any further discussion? All in favor, raise your hand. It's unanimous.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Dean. Item number 2 is presented by Marcus Collins, representing Grace Community Church, requesting a special exception for a church to be located at 5060 Vaughn Road in a B3 commercial zoning district.
Good evening. My name is Marcus Collins. I am the lead pastor at Grace Community Church located here in Montgomery, and I'm here representing our church, seeking a special exception for us to utilize the building at 5060 Vaughn Road for the purposes of having church.
So, Mr. Collins, you're going to be in that strip center.
Yes, sir.
I believe that's the one where Office Depot
Correct.
is or was.
Yes,
Is that
sir.
correct?
That's correct.
Okay. All right, and our agenda here says that your service hours are on Sundays 9 to 12,
Correct.
Wednesday 6:30 to 8 o'clock,
Correct.
okay? And I assume you're going to have adequate parking lot lighting,
Yes, sir.
okay? I assume here you're not going to really have any outside activities, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. Any questions, board members?
Yes. To help locate this in my mind, what is the last thing that was in that space?
It was a nightclub. It was called Liquids.
I'm with you. And now we're going to have a church. That's good. Thank you. That'll
Good.
work.
I agree. Anyone in the audience care to address this item? Mr. Howard, would you like to make a motion?
Yeah, I move we grant the variance as presented.
Second.
Have a motion to approve and a second by Ms. Brown. Any further discussion? All in favor, please raise your hand. It's unanimous.
Thank you, Brother Travis.
Thank you, sir. Item 3 is presented by Mary Daniels, requesting a special exception for a mobile home to be located at 6636 Dowell Lane in an Ag 2 zoning district. Ms. Daniels?
Yes, my name is Mary Daniels. I'm here to request for a permit for me to place a mobile home on my property.
Okay, it's to be located, it's not there yet, correct?
It's not there yet, no.
Okay, and you're gonna demolish the existing structure before you put the mobile home there, correct?
Yes, sir.
And you're gonna be at least 50 feet back from the front property line,
Yes, sir.
okay? And you agree this will be for your use only and not for rental purposes,
Correct.
okay? Any discussions? Anyone in the audience care to address this item? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
So be it.
Have a motion to approve. Ms. Brown, to have a second? Second. Mr. Hughes, seconds. Any further discussion? All in favor, raise your hand. Unanimous.
Thank you.
You're done. Thank you, ma'am. Item number 4 is presented by Bobby Holmes,
Yeah, it is.
requesting a special exception for a mobile home. And board members, your agenda says to be located. It is located there. Right, Ms. Holmes? It's located at 3060 Savage Drive in an Ag 2 zoning district. Board members, I understand that the county had given Ms. Holmes an approval to go there,
Yes,
but without our approval,
right.
correct?
Correct.
So you are there and your home is there and you're living there.
My home got burned down, so
No, I'm sorry, your mobile home.
okay, the mobile home is there, but I'm not living in it.
Right, okay, very good. Well, go ahead and tell us exactly what you want to do.
Okay,
I think
my
I've already
name-
said it, but,
I appreciate it, but my name is Bobby Holmes, and the home got burned down, so now I'm trying to move back in a mobile home, because I'm unable to build a house there.
okay. So I guess the city discovered that you were there without.
No, I came,
You came here?
uh-huh,
Okay,
I came,
well, good,
but I
thank
went to
you.
the wrong place.
Uh-huh.
And I assumed that was the place for the permit, but when I had the electrician to come out, that's when I thought I had already filed for the permit. I went to the wrong place, and what place I went, it was for decal, and they did not tell me I needed to go somewhere else, and I thought I was at the right place.
So the county gave you a permit, right?
I was gonna get a decal. They didn't give me when I get ready to pay the taxes.
Oh, they gave you the decal you get when you, like, instead of, you used to have to buy a tag, you paid the property tax on it.
Right.
Yeah, okay. I got you.
Okay, I have a question here. Your property is 5.8 acres, correct?
Yes.
Are you going to place it as shown here on our map or our drawing, or are you going to move it back from the road some more?
As it's shown on the map.
Ma'am,
As it's shown on the map, that's how it's gonna be placed.
how far back is that, will that be?
Looks like
About 20 feet from the road.
20 feet, yeah.
20 feet from the road?
From Savage Drive. Yes.
Can you not move it back further? We like to see a move back as far as you can.
The trailer would sit on top of the septic tank and we go back any further.
Is that the side of the old, of
It's
the,
actually further back.
Speak into the mic if you don't mind so we can hear.
My name is Bobby Holmes also, but the trailer is actually further back than the old home was at the beginning. We took it furthest back as we could so it wouldn't sit on top of the septic tank that was there already.
Oh, okay.
So you still can't move it back? I mean, 20 feet is mighty close to a road. You're not worried about a car running into you?
No, it's a big old tree in front of the house. If they come to, they run into something, they're gonna catch that tree. But that's how it sits. And it's actually, the trailer is actually further back than the front door of the old house usually sit.
Yeah.
And then they just made that paved road within the last 10 years. It was just a dirt road at first. And they came around and they gave us a gravel road. So it's
I
not
got
really
you.
a big.
What is that structure on the corner there?
On the corner of Savage Road to be a house, but it sits on Fuller and Savage.
Is that on your property?
No, sir.
It's off your property?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I got it. Okay. Any questions, board members? Anyone in the audience care to address this item? I'll entertain a motion.
So be it.
Ms. Brown makes a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Pickett Reeves makes a second. Any further discussion? All in favor, raise your hand. It's unanimous.
Thank you.
All right. Try to move it back some if you can. Number 5 is, item number 5 is presented by James Collins, representing the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, requesting a special exception for a church to be located on the north side of Park Crossing, approximately 270 feet west of Ray Thornton Road in a planned unit development zoning district. Mr. Collins?
Good evening, Mr. Chairman. Good evening, Board. My name is James Collins. I'm a senior associate with Turner Batson Architects. As you said, I am here representing the church. We are asking for a special exception for church use in the PUD. I'd like to point out that this church was indicated on the original master plan for this area.
And they have 214 paid
Is the, I believe it is, but I'm going to ask you the question for the record. The paving is, the parking is paved, correct?
Correct.
It will be striped, correct?
It will be.
And what about lighting?
It will be adequately lighted.
Okay. So the paving will come out all the way to Park Crossing Road?
It will.
Okay. What you doing about your storm?
We've not engaged a civil engineer. We expect all the components of this project to meet current code and state regulation.
There's a retention pond to the side of that. Are you going to spill into that retention pond?
Don't know at this point in time.
Gotcha. You got all public utilities, correct?
We will be on public utility, that's correct.
Okay. Any questions, board members?
Yes, y'all will be the first thing on that side of the road, I think.
That's correct.
That's correct.
Okay.
Right past the detention pond, heading west.
All right. Just
Any other questions, board members?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
will you make note of that there will be a detailed development plan for review by the departments?
Yes. The planning department will require a detailed development plan.
Understood.
We're not approving your development plan.
Yes, sir.
All we're doing is approving the use,
Correct.
okay? The special exception,
Yes, sir.
okay? Anyone in the audience care to address this item? I'll entertain a motion.
Move that we grant the variance, the request, as presented.
Have a motion to approve the request as presented. Do I have a second?
second.
Second from Ms. Brown. Any further discussion? All in favor of the motion and the presentation, please raise your right hand. It's approved.
Thank you.
Thank you. Number 6, presented by Goodall Middleton Kaywood, representing the Health Care Authority of Baptist Health, requesting a variance to ordinance 63-2005 for the property located at 4122 Carmichael Court in a B2 zoning district.
Good afternoon, Darrell Strickland with Goodwin Mills and Kaywood, requesting a variance for the rear yard buffer for this parking lot on Carmichael Court. Just a note about the lot itself. This is a remote lot that the Cancer Center employees use. There's no building on it except a little small shelter, bus shelter, and they're ferried back and forth to the Cancer Center. The gates on this lot are locked overnight, so there's no one coming in and out at all times. Whenever the employees go home, that's when the gates are closed and it's locked. Because of the way the rear curb sits and the fences that are in there, there's physically not enough room to get the canopy trees that's required by the landscape ordinance. They will be located elsewhere on site. We've worked with the urban forester, Russell Stringer. He told me he was going to be here, but he's not. But he has approved the plan and has no objection to it.
Okay. Yeah, I see that in the note. Okay. So, Darrell, along that back property line, you're putting some shrubs.
Well, there will be I don't know if you can see this or not, but there are some landscaped islands along that backside. They will have trees and some shrubs in them.
I got you.
Hold it over
Across the backside. They're required to have landscape islands every so many spaces anyway. So that's where you can put your landscaping.
There'll be trees and then a canopy tree, I think it's ball cypress, we're called to go in there, and some shrubs in those islands.
And is there some type of a fence across the rear of that property?
Yes, there's two fences. One belongs to the apartment complex. We think it's encroaching. It's a small wrought iron fence. Then there's a security fence that was put up by the owner. So that's why they could close the gates at night and just keep people from going in and out of there at will.
Got it. Good. Okay, very good. Any questions, board members? I'm not going to ask anybody got an objection. Here yet.
I ran them all off.
Mr. Corey Johnson, would you like to make a motion to approve this?
Yes, sir.
Second.
So you make a motion to approve.
Make a motion to approve.
All right. Ms. Brown seconds. Any further discussion? All in favor, raise your hand.
Thank you.
Thank you. Number 7, got a complaint. Is Mr. Lopez here? All right, we'll roll him over to next time. Okay? Not sure what, I guess he called in and made a complaint, but we'll give him the benefit of the doubt and roll him over the next time, Adina. Okay? All right.
Minutes will be,
Minutes, make a motion to approve? Have a second?
Mr. Chairman, I would like for,
Wait a second, we got a motion on the.
go ahead.
Got a motion to have a second on the motion, on the minutes?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, all right, go ahead.
Special point, I would like for Mr. Corey Johnson to get a copy of the guidelines for chickens, because he needs to know that.
Yeah. We get questions, the presentation, the request regarding chickens.
And I think
And
Mr.
all
James,
other kinds of stuff.
James Center can provide that to you. They can mail it to you or something. But we do have guidelines for chickens issued to us by the city council.
Yes.
No big deal.
Good. Have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Yes.